Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
We have the CEO of Missionary Aviation Fellowship Australia, Chris Barnes, joining us today because it's the 80-year anniversary of the birth of MAF. Chris, welcome to Rise and Shine.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be with you.
We're so excited to have you. And happy birthday, 80 years. Incredible. If I've got people listening, though, and they're like, 80 years old, what is it? What's MAF? What is this MAF? Is it a TV show? Exactly is it? Can you tell us a little bit about MAF for us?
Yeah, of course I can. Look, no, we are not. We have a similar TV show with a very similar name to us, but no, we are actually Mission Aviation Fellowship. And so we fly into isolated communities around the world, right? So whether it's in Australia, in Arnhem Land, it might be in PNG, in South America, Central Africa, all around the world, there are isolated communities who need help, hope, and healing, and need to find the love of Christ. And so our role is we fly into those communities. We fly in there with humanitarian aid organisations. We fly in there with pastors, with missionaries, with support. And so we basically go where others can't go.
Wow.
Excellent. And 80 years ago, I believe it was 1945, am I right? Tell us about those early beginnings in 1945.
Sure. So look, after the Second World War, there were a number of pilots who'd been flying bombing raids or been fighter pilots, and they were Christians, and they felt that God was calling them to do something different with their skills. And so instead of using aeroplanes to destroy, they used aeroplanes to help and support and bring life. And so it started in America, then moved on to the UK, and then over to Australia. And so those initial pilots went out, they had a look around the world, and particularly in Africa and South America, just to try and understand whether there was a need. And talking to some of them, I met one last year. I met a guy called Jack Hemmings. He was 103 when I met him last year. And he was one of the first pilots from the UK. He flew to Africa with a couple of other pilots, and his comment to me was that they never, ever believed that God had such plans for the mission. Right? They were there. They thought, you know what? Maybe God's got some ideas for a few years of work, but they prayed that God would guide them and would lead them. And he led them to set up the mission in Kenya and Uganda. And 80 years on, we're still serving in Africa. And Jack had such vision and such foresight of the way that God heard his prayers and God directed and guided what he wanted to do with the mission. And he was amazing. That was such a privilege to meet him.
Wow. It is incredible. You just think of what it must have been like back in those days. 80 years on, it's your birthday. How are you celebrating with MAF?
Okay. Well, look, we've got a number of things on this year. We've got a very exciting plane tour coming up. So one of the challenges that we need, obviously, in MAF is we always need new planes.
Oh, yes.
Right? Always opportunities to go to new places, always opportunities to do more, reach more isolated communities. And so we've got a new plane arriving at the moment for PNG. And it comes from America, where it's manufactured, across into Australia, where some mods are done to it to make it operational in PNG. And then it will head over there later in May. But what we've managed to do is secure the plane for a plane tour of the East Coast. So we're going to be flying it from northern Queensland, so Mareeba, which is where we've got a maintenance hangar and depot and set up there. We're going to fly it down all the way down to Avalon for the air show at the end of March. And we're going to stop on the way at various places, so Caloundra, Redcliffe in Brisbane. Then we go to Sydney to Camden. We're going to Canberra. And outside of Avalon, we're in Moorabbin. And then we're up to Orange, Forbes, Toowoomba, Bundaberg, and back to Mareeba. And so at each of those places, we're going to be showcasing the plane to local people who either already support us or even more excitingly, is new people new supporters who don't know about MAF yet. Come and find out about what we're going to do and what we do.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.